What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Move Rewind. Welcome to another video, and today as we are getting into the festive month with it being December, I thought it would be a great idea to do a tier ranking of Doctor Who Christmas specials. Now a few disclaimers before we get into this ranking. Firstly, this is my opinion. This is not a definitive list, and I am heavily influenced by bias. You know, I will be the first one to admit that. So please bear that in mind. Secondly, I'm ranking these episodes based on what I would be most likely to watch on a Christmas evening after I've had a busy day with family and so on. So a Christmas special, especially a Doctor Who Christmas special for me, is one which you can just sit back, relax and become completely absorbed in the world of Doctor Who. And thirdly, I'll also be looking at the actual plot of the episode as well as the acting and the villains and so on and so forth. So now that I've got those disclaimers out the way, let's get on with the rankings. Starting off with the very first Christmas special, 2005, The Christmas Invasion. Now, I really like The Christmas Invasion. Obviously, Doctor Who had never really done an official Christmas special before, so this was one of Russell T Davies's ideas, and it was a massive success. I remember watching The Christmas Invasion. Obviously, it's David Tennant's first full episode as the 10th Doctor, and it's a joy to watch from beginning to end. I think The Christmas Invasion perfectly captures that Christmassy atmosphere, especially the ending of the episode where the Doctor's spending Christmas dinner with Rose and her family on her estate. I really like that ending. It's such a feel-good ending, and the actual plot of the episode I think is really good. The Sycorax, they're a great villain. The Robot Santas, perfect villains for Christmas. And obviously this is a very Doctor-light story, but I think that works in its favour, because the limited screen time the 10th Doctor gets, you remember. I mean, Tennant kicked it out the park within the first 5 minutes of appearing. And by the time he has that sword fight with the Sycorax captain, you can tell that this man was destined to play the Doctor. So I really enjoyed the Christmas Invasion. I love how Rose takes centre stage throughout, and how Rose acts as the audience in the sense of, can she trust this new incarnation of the Doctor? And I think it just perfectly captures the Christmas atmosphere. So the Christmas Invasion, I'm going to put it in the A tier, because as the first Christmas special, I think they did a bloody good job. Next we have the 2006 Christmas special, The Runaway Bride. I really enjoy The Runaway Bride. Obviously, the 10th Doctor is mourning the loss of Rose Tyler, so it kind of has a bit of a depressing atmosphere hanging over it, but I do think that, once again, it handles that kind of more laid-back Christmas atmosphere quite well. Catherine Tate debuts as Donna Noble. I enjoyed Donna in The Runaway Bride. I think she got better during Series 4, but for her appearance in The Runaway Bride, I think she's really good. I love the villain, the Rachnos. I think the villain is great because the actor is so over the top that it just works, and the Rachnos become a really memorable villain for the show. I also like the plot of this special as well. I think it works really well. Probably for me, the highlights of this episode are the Rachnos scenes, as well as the car chase. I just think that the car chase works really well. And it's just, once again, it's something that you could only get away with at Christmas because it's just so fun to watch and not take too seriously. Do I think it's better than The Christmas Invasion? No, I don't think it's as good as The Christmas Invasion, but as a follow-up, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to put it in the B tier because, as I said, I think it's a nice Christmas special. I just think there's some which are just better than this one. Next, we have the 2007 Christmas special, Voyage of the Damned. I love Voyage of the Damned. This is my go-to Christmas special every single year. It's one of those ones where I can just sit back, relax, and I'm on the edge of my seat from beginning to end. Love the Doctor in this. There are some great moments, such as when the Doctor confirms who he is to the other passengers. I really like Kylie Minogue's character. Astris could have been a companion. She should have been a full-time companion. She was brilliant during this special, and she shares great chemistry with the 10th Doctor. I think those two carry the episode. The host, Russell T Davies, was really good at introducing Christmas villains. He did it with the robot Santas in the previous two, and in this special we got the host. I really like the host. They got a creepy design and a quite a unique way of killing people. I also like the other characters as well. The majority of the characters are likeable in this special, but I also like how the Doctor doesn't really choose who lives or dies. One man, Rickson, he survives, and you can tell that the Doctor wouldn't have picked him. So I think it works well because there's very likeable characters that die and there's very despicable characters which somehow seem to survive. I also think that the ending is very emotional as well, with the Doctor having to say goodbye to Astris. So yeah, Voyage of the Damned, I'm going to put it in the S tier because it is a blast from beginning to end, and I've seen it probably every Christmas since it came out, and it still brings a smile to my face. Next, we have The Next Doctor. Now, for me, The Next Doctor is the most forgettable of the Tennant Christmas specials, and it's probably my least favourite. And that's not to say necessarily that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, David Morrissey, I think he's really good as this kind of fake Doctor, and I can't really have a go at David Tennant, and obviously the Cybermen returning is a great thing. For me, though, I feel that this episode, it had a lot of hype around it because obviously it was the 2008 Christmas special. We knew David Tennant was leaving, and this was titled The Next Doctor. So they kind of, everyone tuned in wondering whether, David Morrissey was the next Doctor. And I don't know. I just don't think once you remove all that hype, it holds up. And plus the big Cyberman attacking Victorian London, bit too Power Rangers for me. A bit too Power Rangers for me. So I'm going to put The Next Doctor in the D tier because it's a bit forgettable compared to the other three. The End of Time Part 1. Now, obviously, I'm only doing the Christmas specials which aired on Christmas Day, so that doesn't include The End of Time Part 2. The End of Time Part 1, it's alright. I mean, it's the first part of a two-parter. And I think it's alright. I think it has quite a few moments which are a little bit boring. I just compared to the other four, I had more fun watching them compared to The End of Time Part 1. But saying that though, Bernard Cribbins as Wilf, he's amazing. Tennant once again giving a good performance. It does have a good cliffhanger with the return of the Time Lords and Gallifrey being teased, and obviously John Sims back as the Master, so you can't really go wrong with that. Even though his special powers he has, I don't know, it's just a bit too superhero for my liking. So I'm going to put The End of Time Part 1, I'm going to put it in the D tier. Because I don't think it's as enjoyable as some of the others I've mentioned. And obviously, if I was including Part 2 in it, then it's probably a bit higher. But as I'm just doing Part 1, I think D tier is what it deserves. Next, we have A Christmas Carol, Matt Smith's first Christmas special, the 2010 Christmas special, and obviously Stephen Moffat's first. I really like A Christmas Carol. I think it's a great standalone episode of Doctor Who. I really like the messaging. I love how Moffat takes a lot of inspiration from A Christmas Carol, and I think it works really well. Matt Smith, he is brilliant as the 11th Doctor. This has quite a lot of emotional moments in it, which I think work very well. I really enjoyed the character of Cataran. I mean, he was just a brilliant character, and I love how he was eventually won over, and how much like Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, he's not just an evil old man. There's actually a lot of depth there. There's a lot of character development which is done on this character throughout the special. And once again, as I said, a Christmas special, it should be one which should end and make you feel good. It should be one which ends on a positive note, and I think A Christmas Carol does that. So I'm going to put A Christmas Carol in the S tier because I think it perfectly captures the Christmas spirit, and I really enjoy watching it over the festive period. The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, the 2011 Christmas special, I'm going to put it in E tier. I think it's overhated. Like, I don't think it's bad as some people. Some people would put it in F tier, and fair enough. At the end of the day, it's their opinion. For me personally, I think it's okay. It's a little bit too Christmassy. Obviously, you know, it shares a lot of similarities with Narnia. And in my opinion, not much really happens in this special. It's just the Doctor hanging out with some kids. And these kids are not the best actors in the world. So yeah, there is that to it. You know, if you have bad acting in an episode, obviously it takes you out of it. You're not able to immerse yourself properly. But saying that, it's not one I would generally go for. But I don't think it's the worst. I do think it's a bit overhated. It is a fun, laid-back Christmas special, but it does have boring moments. And as I said, the acting is a bit hit and miss. So I think E tier is what it deserves. Now, the Snowmen. I really enjoyed the Snowmen. You know, this was the 2012 Christmas special. The great intelligence, a great villain. You know, you can't really go wrong. You got Richard E. Grant and Ian McMillan. And they're both great. You know, they're both great villains, and I think they work very well. I enjoy the Great Intelligence plan. Killer Snowmen, you know, since Voyage of the Damned, there hasn't really been a villain which has encompassed Christmas as well as the Snowmen, I don't think. I like the story arc that the 11th Doctor's on in this episode. Obviously, this is the first time we see the Doctor after he's lost Amy and Rory, and it's interesting to see him kind of retired. You know, he's given up, which is strange because the 11th Doctor is the incarnation which you don't expect to give up. So to see him almost not acting like the Doctor and quite a resentful and depressed character, I think that was really interesting. Jenna Coleman makes her appearance as the governess, and I really liked this incarnation of Clara. You know, the governess is my favourite incarnation of the character, and Jenna Coleman does give a great performance. I also like, you know, Madame Vastra, Jenny and Drax, especially Drax. He's very funny in this episode. And I also think that the ending is handled very well as well. How the Snowman is actually defeated by the governess's death, and how her children's emotions affect that. So yeah, I really enjoy the Snowmen. I think it's a fun Christmas special, and I like the fact that it's set in the past. A lot of the Russell T Davies era Christmas specials were mostly set in the present, so I like the fact that it's set in Victorian London. I just think that works really well. It's a great Christmas atmosphere. So I'm going to put the Snowmen in the B tier because I do really enjoy this Christmas special. Next, The Time of the Doctor, obviously the 2013 Christmas special, and it's also a regeneration story. It's Matt Smith's final story as the 11th Doctor. Now, as a Christmas special, it is fun. The fact that they are protecting a town called Christmas, I think is quite a nice touch. And I like how it's split between the Doctor protecting this small town and Clara spending Christmas Day with her family. I think it's a very Doctorish, the fact that he is fighting basically nearly every villain he's ever met in order to just protect a small town. You know what I mean? Like this, at the end of the day, this isn't the Doctor trying to protect the entire universe. He is simply trying to protect this small town, and of course protect the Time Lords as well, make sure that they're not invaded by any of these forces. I think it has some great references to the entire Matt Smith era, such as the cracks in time. So I think that works really well. And obviously I can't fault the regeneration scene. I think the regeneration scene is beautiful. My favourite regeneration scene of all time. You know, that this isn't just the 11th Doctor saying goodbye. You can tell this is Matt Smith saying goodbye as well. And I also enjoy Peter Capaldi's first scenes. I think he nails the role of the Doctor from the off. So I'm going to put The Time of the Doctor in the A tier because this is a fun Christmas special, but it's also a very emotional regeneration story. Last Christmas, the first Peter Capaldi Christmas special, the 2014 one. I think too many people hate this episode simply because Santa Claus appears as a character, but I think they missed the point. Firstly, Nick Frost as Santa Claus is amazing, and secondly, the entire idea of Santa being here is a massive red flag. It's supposed to say Santa is not supposed to be here. That means that the Doctor and Clara are caught in a dream. I love the characters which are introduced in this special, especially Shona. She had companion potential written all over her. I like how it clears up a lot of the loose ends which were present at the end of Series 8, such as the Doctor and Clara lying to one another about what they truly wanted. And I think the Dream Crabs are very good as well. This is a good mix of Inception and Alien, and I think it does a very good job. And it does have a Christmassy atmosphere as well. It's a base under siege story, and I think it's great we finally got a Christmas special, which was a true base under siege story. Now, I would put it in S tier. The reason I'm not is simply because I don't like the ending. Now, obviously, I think I've told you guys this before, but originally this was supposed to be Jenna Coleman's last appearance as Clara. So the ending where the Doctor meets her as an old woman, that was supposed to be the end. But Moffat persuaded Coleman to stay on, and it was rewritten to have it actually be a dream inside a dream, and Clara's young and fine. And I just think that was a massive letdown. I think this would have been the perfect final appearance for Clara. So I'm going to put it in the A tier. If it weren't for that, it would definitely be in the S tier. But, you know, I've got a rank where I think it should go based on what was actually in the special. So I'm going to put it in the A tier instead of the S tier. The Husbands of River Song. The Husbands of River Song, I find it fun. You know, it's the 2015 Christmas special. I know some people don't like it, and I can understand that, but I think it's quite fun. I think that Peter Capaldi and Alex Kingston, they work very well together. I love the Doctor's reaction to the TARDIS, you know, when he's pretending that he doesn't know that the TARDIS is bigger on the inside. I just think that's brilliant. I also like the fact that River doesn't recognise the Doctor at first, and when she eventually does figure it out, it is quite a special moment, and it does have a very bittersweet ending, as the Doctor and River decide to spend, you know, a final evening together, and I just think that works really well. It brings River's story full circle. It's a fun Christmas special. It's not the best by any means, and obviously it has its flaws, but I can put this Christmas special on and I can just have a laugh with it, and I can enjoy myself. And at the end of the day, that's what a Christmas special should do. So I'm going to put it in the C tier, because I'd say it's an average Christmas special, so I think it deserves to go right in the middle. The Return of Dr. Mysterio, F tier. This is the Christmas special that I despise the most. You know, Stephen Moffat, he tried to do a comic book film, because obviously this was 2016, so comic book films, they were big. You know, you had Civil War and Batman vs Superman released that year, but I just think it don't work. It's a bit too cringy, it's a bit too over the top. The only saving grace in this special is Peter Capaldi. I think he's really good as the 12th Doctor, and I enjoy him in this special. To be honest, the scenes I prefer in this special are the ones between the 12th Doctor and the hero when he was a kid. I think they actually have better chemistry than the 12th Doctor and the adult hero. Yes, I just think this is a bit too far-fetched, having a superhero exist in what's supposed to be, you know, the real world. So even for Doctor Who, I just think it was a bit too out there. And I don't think Stephen Moffat actually made the most of this comic book idea. I think he was just jumping on what was a craze at the time. So yeah, I don't rewatch this that often. Maybe if I'm doing a marathon, I'll put it on. But yeah, I don't really go near that one at Christmas. And the last Christmas special up until 2023, Twice Upon a Time, the 2017 Christmas special, Peter Capaldi's final special as the 12th Doctor. So much like the Time of the Doctor, it is a regeneration story as well as a Christmas special. I enjoy this Christmas special. I think Peter Capaldi is great as the 12th Doctor. David Bradley is introduced as the First Doctor, and I think he does good with what he's given. I think, you know, some of the script trying to make the First Doctor appear very old-fashioned and a bit sexist. I don't really know why that was included. I think it was included for comedic purposes. I just don't think it works. I like that Pearl Mackey's back at Bill Potts, but I also like the fact that it's a simulation, so it doesn't actually it doesn't limit the impact of Bill's overall story. Plus, I like the final scenes. You know, I like the fact that the 12th Doctor is given back his memories. He remembers Clara. And I also enjoy the 12th Doctor's final speech. I mean, Capaldi is the king of monologues. And his regeneration monologue is no different. And I love his final lines. Doctor, I'll let you go. That's not the 12th Doctor saying that. That is Peter Capaldi, a lifelong Doctor Who fan who wanted nothing more than to be the Doctor saying goodbye to a role he always wanted. So I really enjoyed Twice Upon a Time. It's not as fun as some of the other Christmas specials on this list, but then I don't think it's trying to be. It's trying to be a more somber Christmas special. This isn't only Peter Capaldi's final special, it was Stephen Moffat's final episode after 7 years as showrunner. So I'm going to put it in the B tier because I don't have as much fun watching it, but it is a very good emotional regeneration story. So, thanks for watching, guys. That is my tier ranking of the Doctor Who Christmas specials. I didn't actually put much planning into this because I always think if I plan these tier rankings, then it's not genuine. So I just went in and I've put them at the moment where I think they should go. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy with it. If I had to say, anything below a D is a bad Christmas special. So as you can see, only 2 Christmas specials have actually entered that very low area. The majority of Christmas specials I can say I have enjoyed, and I'm really hoping that the 2023 Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, obviously Ncuti Gatwa's first one as the 15th Doctor, we're aiming for S tier. I want to see it in S tier. If I see it down here, I'm going to be very disappointed, but I'm aiming for S tier. So I hope Russell T Davies knows what he's going on about. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And I will see you in another one. See ya!